Good morning. It is Wednesday, April the 1st, and this is The Drill. Thank you very much. I'm Ron, your host, and the only true conservative in the United States today. I don't take my cues from the left. I will not pretend to be neutral. I will not simply, quote, give you the facts and let you decide, unquote. I'm a partisan, and I'm here to convince and persuade. I will tell you what to do, where to go, and how to hang your laundry. I created this podcast to answer the question most asked by conservatives, namely, what can I do? My podcast is short, approximately 5 to 10 minutes long, because shorter podcasts are easier to download and listen to, and shorter podcasts force me to get to the point. I've been listening to conservative talk radio since 1989. I've grown up in a socialist household and seen the destructive effects of socialism up close and personal. My podcast is made available through Spreaker and can be heard on iTunes, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. Today, what can I do? Quote of the day: homeless rights and knowledge for pursuing happiness. All that when I come back. Thank you. What can I do? You can know and understand that the rights guaranteed by the Constitution are mandatory and permanent. They apply 24/7, 365. Our rights don't have weekends and holidays off. For instance, freedom of association is guaranteed by the First Amendment to the Constitution. We all have the God-given right to associate with whomever we want to, whenever we want to. No mayor, governor, or president, for that matter, can take that away. Now, whether it's good judgment, given current circumstances, for us to associate with large groups of individuals, that's another matter. But it's a decision that can only be made by the individual. Next up, the quote of the day. Thank you. The quote of the day comes from False Christianity by Dan Jensen. Quote, "This gives skeptics endless amounts of fodder for questioning just about everything. I do not have answers to all of these problems, not even close, no one does, but what you must remember if you read any critiques of what I write in this section on philosophy, or any critique of sound Christian philosophy, is that just because we cannot solve all mysteries, this does not mean that what we instinctively know to be true beyond all doubt is actually in question. For example, there are huge problems with any ethical statement. But just because we cannot answer all of these mysteries, does this mean that the rape of a child is any less immoral? Of course not. No matter what anyone says, we all know deep down, beyond doubt, that this is a heinous sin. That truth is a first principle of knowledge, following under the rubric of ethics. It is not in need of further proof. It is self-evident," unquote. Next up, homeless rights. Thank you. There is no such thing as separate rights. There's no such thing as group rights. Therefore, there is no such thing as homeless rights. There is, however, a reasonable expectation of privacy, and therefore private property, and therefore property rights. Even the homeless have property rights. They own chattels, which the government cannot just discard. There's no conflict between the rights of homeowners and the homeless. The conflict occurs when a person trespasses on someone else's property. We all have a reasonable expectation that the laws regarding trespassing will be enforced and that the trespasser will ultimately be removed. The problems in Southern California is that the laws against trespassing, among others, are not being enforced. Without law enforcement, the property rights of home and business owners are and will continue to be violated and in jeopardy. At any time that a true conservative hears someone talk about the homeless problem, they must be corrected and reminded that the problem isn't for the homeless, but for the home and business owners. Next up, to be happy, you have to know. Thank you very much. Skepticism is crap. Skepticism creates the contradiction that nothing can be known with certainty. One cannot pursue happiness on spec. One must have knowledge. If there is no way to know anything, then there is no way to pursue happiness. And if there is no way to pursue happiness, there is no way to achieve paradise, socialist or otherwise. If there is no way to achieve paradise, then socialism is pointless. Back in a minute. Who is the true conservative? He is the person that has the courage of his convictions and is confident in what he knows. He is the person that understands that cultural conservatism is more important than political conservatism. He's not selfish, but minds his own business. He acts like an adult. He is patriotic and uses common sense. He expresses what he knows and does so with certainty. He makes judgments, refuses to speculate, speaks clearly and definitively, and is not afraid to say no. He's open-minded, asking why rather than why not. He is consistent, credible, and influential. Not ashamed of his existence, unafraid to learn or correct his mistakes. He is a normal American, and he is better than the socialist. He's a better friend, father, brother, family member, and a better person, period. You have to know that. If you don't know with every fiber of your being that being a true conservative is best, then you are wasting your time. And that brings me to the end of another episode of The Drill. Remember that the left has no authority, no power, and they can't win. Think about it.